What if prehistoric giant dragonflies suddenly appeared above the wetlands of the modern Amazon rainforest? Could you tear through the modern food chain and rule these skies once again? Deep in the Amazon, beneath layer after layer of vines and rotting wood, lies a sealed blackwater swamp. Dozens of insect eggs carrying a bloodline from the Carboniferous 300 million years ago sink quietly into the warm mud. These ancient lives were placed here by human hands. The moment you hatch, you must face a completely alien modern aquatic world. When the first larvae break free, each is less than 2 centimeters long. The instant you crawl out of the egg, your first life or death trial arrives. Low oxygen. Carboniferous air contained nearly 30% oxygen, and dissolved oxygen in its waters was far higher than today. Meganeura. Larvae breathe by drawing water across tail gills, but this black water is packed with decaying matter. Microbes constantly consume oxygen, while layers of fallen leaves block air exchange. There is barely any oxygen in the water. Your tail gills pump violently, but the tiny amount of oxygen you draw in is barely enough to sustain basic metabolism. Your body feels heavy and powerless. In just 3 days, most of the 40-plus larvae suffocate and sink into the mud. They never move again. Only a dozen or so survive by luck. Driven by hunger, you are forced to adapt to this new world. Carboniferous waters had agile little creatures, but nothing with the extreme maneuverability of modern fish fry and shrimp. Your signature folding lower jaw trap was built to ambush ancient aquatic prey. Now, every time it shoots forward, the target changes direction and escapes instantly. A killing mechanism that once never missed, now moves like a rusted machine. With nowhere else to turn, you abandon the pride of an apex predator. You scavenge carrion from the bottom, chew on fragments of rotting leaves, and only occasionally catch a weakened fish fry. Once the freshwater ruler of the Carboniferous, you are reduced to a scavenger barely surviving in a blackwater pool. The colony's turning point is hidden in a stagnant pond left by a storm. The largest larva follows the floodwater into a sealed, shallow pool half covered by vines at the swamp's edge. Decay consumes most of the oxygen below, but dense aquatic ferns keep photosynthesizing, creating a rare pocket of oxygen-rich water. Entering this water is like turning a key. It unlocks the giant growth genes long suppressed by low oxygen. Your tail gills fill with oxygen, and the tracheal system inside your body runs at full power. A growth program dormant for 300 million years activates. From then on, this giant larva begins molting at high speed. Its hunting strategy transforms as it grows. You stop wasting energy chasing scattered fish. Instead, you wait at the entrances to the oxygen-rich zone. Any fish or shrimp that comes to breathe is caught within a few thousandths of a second by your spring-loaded mouthparts. The tiny pool becomes an underwater killing ground. The other surviving larvae follow the scent of flowing water and gather one after another. This isolated, oxygen-rich shallows becomes the colony's only refuge. With every molt, your exoskeletons grow harder, and your hunting mouthparts fully develop, strong enough to seize a fish the size of a hand. 6 months later, the first mature larvae climbs a tree root out of the water. Now comes the deadly trial of emergence. The old aquatic shell splits along the back. A soft, folded adult body slowly pulls free. 4 huge, thick-veined wings begin to unfold. Body fluid pumps through them, and they harden. When sunlight covers the fully spread wings, their astonishing scale is finally revealed. A wingspan of 70 centimeters, larger than most small and medium-sized rainforest birds. What looked like a dead twig in the mud has transformed into the largest flying insect in Earth's history. But the giant dragonfly's escape from the water brings another crushing blow from the modern atmosphere. Today's air contains only about 20% oxygen. Hard wing beats drain your energy fast. The thinner air also gives the same wing area far less lift. Even beating with all your strength, you can barely rise 1 meter above the water. As a cold-blooded animal, intense flight also builds heat rapidly. Low oxygen makes that excess heat harder to clear. Before long, you must land, stay still, and cool down. During the first few days, you stumble repeatedly at low altitude, nearly crashing into deep water. Fortunately, you adapt quickly. You soon learn the rainforest's rhythm. At noon, scorching columns of warm air rise from the ground. You stop relying on brute force wing beats. Instead, your 4 independently twisting giant wings let you glide and hover. That solves both the lack of lift and the danger of overheating. While circling above the nest, your wraparound compound eyes give you almost a full 360-degree view. The slightest movement within dozens of meters has nowhere to hide. Inside the refuge, the remaining larvae emerge one after another. A complete colony of ancient aerial predators has finally taken shape. Your first hunting target is one of the rainforest's large native dragonflies, famous for its agility. But against a killing design evolved 300 million years ago, its flight advantage means nothing. The lead Meganeura dives from 5 meters above. 6 long, spined legs spread wide, then close into a sealed hunting cage. The native dragonfly has no time to dodge. It is locked firmly against sharp mouthparts. You tear through its exoskeleton while still gliding and finish the meal in seconds. The native insects of these skies witness for the first time the unique aerial dominance of the Carboniferous. But the truly lethal threat was never ordinary prey. It is the airborne hunters drawn to this oxygen-rich refuge. The dry season arrives. Water levels across the swamp keep falling. The last high-oxygen waters continue to shrink. This pond becomes the most valuable resource in the wetland. The first danger comes from patrolling small falcons. They are drawn by the dense swarm of giant silhouettes and turn this place into a hunting ground. A single raptor weighs far more than a Meganeura of barely 100 grams. Its diving speed and impact force are overwhelmingly superior. One strike from beak or talons can cripple an insect. In the first clashes, a lone Meganeura has no way to fight back. One is pierced through the middle by a falcon. Its broken wings spin as it falls into the swamp. Ancient strength used alone is helpless against a modern bird of prey, but Meganeura carries an evolved instinct for group survival. The skies of the Carboniferous were already a world where your kind moved together. The crisis awakens a cooperative instinct written into your genes. When the falcons dive again, more than 10 Meganeura instantly weave a three-dimensional encirclement. You do not compete in straight-line speed. Instead, you exploit the unique control of 4 independent wings to perform maneuvers no bird can copy. A 90-degree turn at full glide, a sudden mid-air stop, a reverse brake just above the water. The lead falcon plunges into the swarm, but its targets hover and slip aside at the last instant. Unable to brake, the raptor shoots into the formation's center. As it desperately tries to pull up, 4 individuals hidden in the upper thermal strike together, spined legs close from blind angles, and bind the falcon tightly. Sharp mouth parts aim precisely at its weakest points. This is not a one-on-one fight. It is a coordinated execution carried out by ancient predators in perfect sync. At last, the falcon goes limp and drops into the water. The colony loses 3 members in the battle, but terrifies every raptor in the area. No falcon dares approach the pond again. From then on, the skies above the oxygen-rich shallows are safe from outside attack. Once the territory is secure, the hidden drive to reproduce fully awakens. The males become fiercely territorial. Each claims a stretch of shoreline and guards it relentlessly, especially the best egg-laying sites near the oxygen-rich nursery. The moment another male crosses the boundary, 2 70-centimeter giants clash in midair. The loser is driven completely away from the water. The victor holds position above the surface. His glittering compound eyes wait silently for a female. When a female approaches, the male seizes his mate in midair. Their abdomens bend and lock into a ring. Together, they hover over the water on the rising air. This mating posture has not changed in 300 million years. When mating ends, the female skims low across the surface. She drives her eggs precisely beneath the water, into aquatic plants and mud. She cannot know that the offspring she leaves behind will still face the deadly threat of widespread low oxygen.